Hey guys, thanks for watching another video. In this video I'm going to try to finish the turbo, get the turbo fitted, the boost pipes, intake manifold, wiring, and we're going to do a headlight harness wire tuck, just because the fenders and stuff's off now, so it's going to be much easier doing it now, much easier and quicker than it would be to come back and take everything off again and then do it later on. I initially planned to do it later on, but I think it's going to be better just to do it now. And from what I've seen online, it's actually going to be quite easy to do it. It's not a full tuck. We're not going to get rid of all the wires. Basically just the loom that runs for the headlights and the fan and the horn and that kind of stuff. If you guys want to see anything that I'm maybe not thinking about, drop it in the comments. We'll see if we can make it happen. We are working on a budget here. The purpose of this car is not to spend a lot of money. It is definitely about building on a budget, building of stock parts. You guys saw the whole engine is just stock parts. There's nothing aftermarket apart from the injectors, fuel pump and the clutch. Everything else on the engine is all just stock stuff. There was probably more money spent on making it look aesthetically nice than the engine, basically. Well, not really. The engineering was quite expensive. But anyway, yeah, if you guys want to see something specific, drop it in the comments. We'll see if we can make it happen. This video, I think the big part of it is probably going to be the wire tuck. The other stuff is quite, it's unique to everyone. I know my boost pipes and stuff's going to fit because we did make a small change, but everything is still the same stuff that was on the car before. Because for these that don't know, I did buy this car already turbocharged. If you go back to my first video, you'll see what the car looked like when I got it. It was sitting in someone's backyard for 5 years. But anyway, yeah, let's get going. Okay, so we started to make some serious progress now. All the belts are on, alternator, all that stuff's bolted down, bracket, these torque mounts at the bottom. Both are on, starters on. Intake manifold's not done yet because I finished up see there's the sandwich plate and the oil sensors. There's two oil sensors there, one's for the cluster, one's for the gauge. Turbo oil feed connected there to where the original oil pressure sensor sits, just because that's after the oil filter, so you won't be sending unfiltered oil to the turbo. I'm now going to just install the harnesses, and then I'm going to test fit the turbo. I don't know if you guys can see, but this mount has been cut. So I cut it off here, and I cut it off over here. Normally it goes all the way around in a square, but the wastegate sits right here. If you look at the turbo over here, you can see the wastegate sits right there. So I'm going to do the wiring and bolt the turbo on, and yeah, basically almost done. We still need the intake, all the coolant stuff, distributor, and the wiring. That's all the stuff I'm going to do now. Okay, here's the charge pipes and stuff. Really nice. The welds are not too bad on these. On the inside they're a bit questionable. You can see they do poke into the inside, but I think this is probably the most expensive part of this turbo kit, was probably having these stainless steel pipes made. I mean, it's really not too bad. Now what I'm going to do now is just clean this up, clean all of it up. You can see these ones are really dirty. These are the ones that go down to the intercooler. So I have the charge pipes all cleaned up. I think they came out quite nice. I tried to clean all the couplers. I think it's this one. I think they sprayed something in here to prevent it from slipping off the coupler, because you can see this end and this coupler, which was on there, has this tar-like substance. Could be old oil, but the thing is, it doesn't come off. It doesn't. It's just like a very sticky tar that's in here. It doesn't really bother me. I'm just gonna put it back on. Now the problem I ran into is I removed this section, and I planned on replacing it by just moving this basically to fit here. The problem is it fits exactly like this. It is literally just too short to actually go over the pipe so that you can get a clamp onto it. So I basically just went and bought a small piece of pipe. These things are actually quite expensive. Okay, so this is going to sit like this, and then this will mount up to the turbo and go over this coupler. I'll just cut a piece of that old one to put over this end, and then I'll basically have enough length to run the pipes as before. However, I'm removing that whole bend and the forward facing turbo. Okay, so finally, after a big struggle, I got this coupler to work, and the orientation, wastegate, all that stuff. So I decided to go ahead with the wire duct, just because, you know, everything is open and fenders are off, so it's the best time to do it now. It's very easy to do it. You just deepen this plug. Once it's deepened, it's small enough that you can push it into the hole on the inside, and it will come out of this hole here. And then you can run the loom basically just here, zip tied up using these holes, and it goes in here by the headlight. So this is the front of the car, and then it's basically out of the engine bay, because normally the wire obviously runs around, and it normally sits here on this shock tower. So it's like in your face and quite ugly. And yeah, it's a very easy thing to do. I'm going to show you guys now how to do this. You just clip this white thing off with a screwdriver, and you can deepen the pins with a toothpick. So you don't need any fancy tools. One thing very important is take pictures of the wires so that you know exactly where every wire goes, so that you can just repin them once you're done. Other than that, it's very easy. It's going to come out here, you're going to zip tie it onto the frame rail, and it's going to go in there. And obviously your headlight sits right here, so you won't even be able to see it. And then it continues running this side, and you can run it under the cradle, and it will come up here, and it's behind the headlight again, so you can't see it. It'll go out of the hole on this side, and the exact same story on this side. So you'll run it here where the hood release is, and it's going to go into this hole right here. So you'll have to of course do the same with this plug. Now this one I already deepened one just to see if I'll be able to do it, and it's very, very easy. I'll show you guys now. You literally just poke a toothpick in under this pin, and then you can pull it out. So just remember, take pictures of the wires so you know where they came out and where they need to go back. Okay, so this is just to show you guys how easy it is. First you want to remove this white locking cap. Okay, so I just poked the screwdriver in here and it went flying. So I mean, that's quite easy. Now when it comes to these little pins, you'll see the top, it's got like a V in it, and the bottom is round. So all you do is you poke it in at the bottom, poke the toothpick in at the bottom of it, once you do that, you'll see the pin lifts up. Once it is lifted up, you can go to the back and just grab it and pull it, and that's it. Pulls right out. When you're done and you want to put it back, you just put it back in again, and you'll hear a click, and then it's stuck. Now it can't come out again. So I mean, that's very, very easy. Poke it, it will lift up. Once it's up, pull it out. Now I'm just going to take pictures of this so I don't mix these wires up. Okay, so this is the actual video I'm going to use to repin this plug. Not sure if I'm going to use it in the video or not, but I'm going to just go, this is the bottom of the plug, obviously this is the top, so I'm going to start at the bottom and then start in this corner and go that way. So we're starting with blue and red, thick blue and red, followed by red and yellow. Okay, and here we go. All the wires are through. So it just goes into that hole there. Comes out this side. All I'm going to do now is watch that video and repin this plug. Put the little cap back on, and that's it. Then I'll run the wires through this hole. Come along here. There's going to be a bit of extra wire. I'll just zip tie it up in this area and then plug it in. And here we go, fully repinned. Every pin is back in its place. I literally just rewatched the video I made, and after each wire I paused the video, reclipped the wire, then continue watching the video. Very easy. Honestly, I think I'm going to do this to all my cars from now on. And then once you're done, just clip this back. This holds the pins in place. You can see there's little plastic tabs to keep them from popping out. And that's it. Okay, so we're starting to make some real progress now. I have the distributor on, wiring is all done, fuse box is back in, battery tray. I wired up all these little sensors back here, that's why I took the intake back off again. Now we're going to do the coolant system, just plumb everything up with the coolant system. I also did all the wires, tucked the chassis loom basically, so it now comes out here. Zip tied it to this thing that was here before. This is the hood release. Yeah, and then everything goes in here. The earth is just on the outside, where before it would bolt on the inside. Put little grommets in here, the ones that it normally comes with, just so the wires don't rub through. And yeah, then we'll run here under the headlight. It comes up and then it runs under the cradle here, so you can't see it. Comes back down here, and then this is all under the headlight and it goes back out. Now I am planning on redoing the wiring on this car, just because it is not really very nice. All the wires are like worn out and dirty. We also do still have this crow's nest down there, but I did that when I was working on the wiring, so that also still has to be fixed. People normally run, this is the wiper motor, and it goes in above the brake booster, comes out here, goes to the wiper motor, and normally people will run this also into this little hole. and then it will come out here and you can run it back in here, and in on the inside here is another big hole, so you can deepen this plug, run those wires out and back in, and then you won't even have this one wire here. But this is only one wire, and I'm gonna just tuck it up here because you will still have these for the brake booster coming in. So I'll just run it tucked up here. You won't really see it anyway. And this is not really a full tuck. I mean, there is still a whole bunch of wires here. And yeah, now the fun part starts. Now the exhaust still has to go on, but it is looking a bit rusty, and it's, I don't know who did this. These pipes are not even all the same size. We still have to put this bracket on. This goes under the block, mounts to the gearbox. Here's all the old pipes. I'm not going to use them again. All new hoses. So these are just the cheap AliExpress hoses, PQY performance, and they're actually very nice. It's very nice, very thick. Quality looks very, very nice. So we're gonna fit all new hoses, new radiator. There's also a new thermostat in the car, so the whole coolant system has been redone. And then of course we have all these parts that has to still go on the car. There's like a whole bunch of dress up stuff and performance parts. These are the poly bushings for the shifter. This thing is open. These are little clamps for the plug wires. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff that has to go on the car. We have a filter. This is heat trap for the exhaust, so we can hide the rusty exhaust. So yeah, let's get started. I'm first going to do all the plumbing on the car. Okay, so I plumbed up all the heater core pipes, and you know, it's actually very good pipes. Some of them struggle to go on, like I had a bit of trouble with this one because this housing, this one output's a bit bigger than, let's say, this one. So this one goes on really easy. You can use this little push clamp. This one, once you have it on, the push clamp can't go over because you can't open it wide enough. So I just put a normal clamp on there. I did struggle a bit with getting this one on, but the trick is just to wiggle it. You can't just push it on, you have to just wiggle the pipe while you're pushing, and then it goes on actually quite easy. I had to cut, so this one back here, the small one that goes from the heater core to the control, like the shut-off valve. I had to cut both sides just this much off on each side to make it fit, because that end actually comes all the way to this end. And these pipes are very, very strong, so you have to use a side cutter. I don't think a scissor will cut this. And also this green part's very soft, so I don't think I'll have any trouble with leaks. Okay guys, thanks for watching. I'm sure in the next video we'll actually be able to start the car. Please like, comment, subscribe, and see you all in the next one.